for Leo for the winter of 2018 into the winter of 2019. So I'm in Canada, so that's December 17 to January, February, March 18. Now I do a pyramid spread for the masculine energies, and then I clarify with a few tarot cards, and then I have some bonus cards as well. So I'm going to start off here with the reading. In the bottom of the base of the pyramid, you have skill. So I feel like these Leo men are very focused on something, and they have the skill they need to pull it off. Okay, the next card I get is dedication. Straightforward. They're dedicated to getting this thing accomplished, whatever it is they're focused on. They're gonna stay with it, stick with it, and go in that direction. The next card I get is wisdom. So we have skill and wisdom on either side of the dedication. So we have some things here going in the direction that we need them to go. The next card I get is travel. So we may have, and I'm feeling that there's a work angle here. So travel in according to work, and I mean skill within that. I mean, you're very well seasoned. I'm getting a sense of that, being seasoned within your job and being dedicated to it as well. The next card I get is perfection. So that's having things, everything needs to be in its place and has to be the way that you want it to be. I think the perfection here is individual perfection of the way you want to be perceived by others, as you got your stuff together and you make sure of that. Now the end result here is fear. So I think when it comes to work, you're so caught up with, I mean, you have the wisdom, you have all the skills, everything's set, right? So you're going to be doing some traveling, but also having things the way that you want them to be. But somewhere along the line here, we get a fear of either falling off this pedestal that you maybe have yourself on, where you can handle everything and you can do everything and you're going in that way. There may be some things that come at you that will be in the way of not being able to deal with properly. So whatever form that takes, whether that's in work, I feel like that could be in any area. Something comes in that kind of throws you off. Now I'm going to try and highlight, because we end up in fear, so this is not a great direction to head for, but we're going to see where that comes from. Now the three cards I got, they as I was shuffling, they said take note of the bottom card, so I'll explain that after. The first card I get is the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is really that person. I mean, it can be a message about work, but it's also, to me, I think of the Page of Pentacles as a person who is, because the page is the beginning, right? The youth. And then there's the adult, and then the king, right? So the adult would be the knight, and the page would be just starting out in your life. So if we're talking about work here, it's like learning, wanting to veer off in a new direction. Leo's, and I do get a sense of a solid foundation here of where you're at, but this could indicate a new direction that you want to go, or a new outlet that you want to take within that job as well. Now, the next card we get is the Tower, which does not bode well, because if we have the Page of Pentacles here, and if we're talking about messages, usually it'd be about messages about work in a good way. The Tower would destroy that into the bad way. So beware of messages coming in about work. They can be off-putting. And not only that, very drastic and again, chaotic. That word is not leaving the male side here, but can create somewhat of a chaos. Now the Tower is really put on the roster here so that we get rid of the things that intuitively we've been nudged, pushed, shoved, kicked up to this point and we've not listened to. So the universe is coming in and clearing this out. So in whatever way that happens, this is the last straw. So that is what I'm feeling here, is like there's a situation here that needed to go, and this is the last straw. Now, on the other side of this is interesting. We get the Page of Cups, and as I'm looking at it here sitting on my table. The Page of Cups is looking directly at the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles, it's almost like he's got his eyes closed. He's not wanting to see. Now, that kind of spreads the energy around here. So we may have a situation where there's news of work that is destructive, right, to your process. And then we have the Page of Cups overseeing everything. So there's news of love and emotion, of emotional nature, that also can destroy things. But I'm getting a sense here from this page that it has less to do with the destruction as it does to the reason. Okay, so there may be a situation these Leo males are coming across where they're coming into, and I'm getting a scenario here with love, a relationship where they're at the point where they're wanting to let go. Like they've been at the point, I think, where they want to let go for a while, but I feel like this Page of Cup coming in is really the reason now to leave. Because they've felt it, but they've had no outlet, and now they've got an emotional outlet for that, and now they're going to go. That's really what I'm getting for this Leo scenario. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Now, the card they told me to take into account, because I only do 3, and then they told me to take into account, was the Strength card, which is like that Leo card, but there's a woman there, right? So it's almost like it's saying there's someone here. There's something that needs to go and something that's coming in. And the thing that's coming in, I feel, is got a great strength and calmness. She's kind of faced away from the work situation because I do feel like there's some important news there through work, whether it's a change of venue or a change of whatever, or a different opportunity. I don't know, but there is some work news here, and there's also some news of an emotional nature that's affecting the whole shebang. It's affecting everything, but the news of work is going to be more of a deciding factor. And I feel like this Strength, this woman that's in this card, I feel like she is an actual symbol of something that he's going to, somewhere where there's more strength and more reserve on hold. I feel like these Leo males are coming from a situation where they maybe weren't feeling a love connection on a very strong level, and now they're seeing it outwardly in someone, and they may not have taken the steps to go in that direction, but it's going to make them more confident in dealing with what they have to deal, kind of like cutting off one and to go to another, but yet then the other, it's just a symbol. Feel like it's more of a symbol, I want that instead of that. And you may not be going after that particular person, but you're going after the dream of that, and that's going to come in the future, and you just decide to break at this point. So that's it's pretty heavy for the Leo male in the process of a transitioning here. So as I look into the cards here, I give a Power of Surrender card to give you any knowledge of what you need to let go, and then I also give a Fortune card. Now the Power of Surrender card is surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. So I feel that has less to do with like religion in that way, but more to do with the fact that you really have to think and plan forward, not just actively, but in thought process. Because I think the Leo male is kind of like does as he goes, as he thinks he does. And he needs to think ahead of plan. I think you need to, and not only that, is thinking more often, thinking in a way that can manifest. That's what I'm feeling, is this guy has to think more in order to manifest, because he's not thinking enough in order to set that energy in front of him. He's just thinking enough, but he has to really involve himself. And I'm feeling like if you are a Leo male and you're going from one relationship, you've had enough of it. I think you just not had anything in your path that makes you feel like you should take that jump and cut it off. And even though I don't feel like you're going from one to another, I think you're starting to see in other women, this is what I want. Or, depending on your sexuality, male, whatever, this is more what I want. This is more what suits me. And realizing that you're wasting your time here because you've done all you can do and you've learned all you can learn. And at this point, it's stagnant. So you need to move into something that's more fulfilling. And that's really the process I feel for these Leos over this time. And so surrendering to prayer is more of the thought process that you got to lay down the track here. What is it you want in a partner? What are the attributes? Start daydreaming about that and lay that track out so that the universe can supply it. Because you feel it enough to make the action. You have faith in the future. So you just need to have a little more mental thought and clarity about what exactly you want. Pinpoint that down and go from there. So the fortune card I get for the Leos is the dragonfly. It says, have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. So the renewal, I think, is the big, hyphenated thing, is a renewal here of energy of who you are. I feel like you've kind of relaxed into a character that is not necessarily who you are. It's who you were known to be in that. And I feel like the renewal of energy will come when you actually cut that cord and move on. And even though, like I say, you have nothing to specifically move into, you will be coming into a better generative energy for yourself and also to manifest the partner that you want. So that is there for you. But nonetheless, there's some destructive energy, but it's like that happened to me. It was the worst thing that could have happened, but it was a blessing in disguise, that kind of thing. That's what's going on here, because the universe has really pulled you along as far as you can go, and now they have to cut you off. So there may be some drastic things that happen in the midst of all of your decision making, and where you sit amongst that, there might be some news that'll help you get to where you need to be in that way. And I see that there's an emotional offer here in the future coming at you with great strength. It has a pillar of strength. And not only that, that person has a pillar of strength, but it also brings out that pillar of strength within you that has not been there, has been pushed aside for a long time. So you need to take that into account. So hopefully that helps the Leo males for December 17, January, February, March of 18. So hopefully that helps. And for those who celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas, Merry New Year, that kind of thing. Take care, have fun, and be kind and stay safe.